Alright, so for today's video, I'm going to go over a lot of things regarding the incline dumbbell press. Now, this is something I program in for myself and a lot of clients because as opposed to a barbell incline, a lot of people tend to get a better contraction in the incline dumbbell press, and it also makes it a little bit easier to keep proper form and shoulder retraction, and that's something a lot of people struggle with. So the first thing that's really important when doing any kind of pressing, especially chest pressing, is going to be shoulder retraction. So a lot of people will pronate their shoulders, so rounded forward when they press, especially at the top of the movement. They'll come up and bring their shoulders forward. Now, what you want to do is think that there's a pencil between your shoulder blades. So what you want to do is try to pinch that pencil and hold it in place. Bring your shoulders back, pinch your shoulders together, and that's the position you want to be in, and you want to maintain that through the entire press. So keep your shoulders back, extend all the way up, and you're going to come back down. The other thing you want to do is have a slight arch in your back. You'll get a lot of idiots that will tell you that you're not supposed to arch in your back when you're benching. That's actually proper form, and you're going to have more drive if you keep a slight arch in your back. So shoulders back, a little bit of an arch, come back, press. Now, another thing to remember when you're pressing, the goal is not to bring your hands together at the top of the press. What you want to think about doing, think about bringing your elbows in closer to each other. So you're going to press up and extend your elbows in while keeping your shoulders back. Now that's going to contract your chest fully, and you don't want to bring your dumbbells together or hands together, because this is going to move the weight inside your shoulder. When you come inside your shoulder, you're no longer going to be maintaining tension on your chest. So you want to press straight up and think about bringing your elbows in closer to each other. So I'm going to demonstrate this. This is what you do not want to do. You'll see a lot of people bringing the dumbbells all the way together at the top. So right here, with the dumbbells together, I'm losing a lot of tension on the chest. But if I keep my hands in line or slightly outside of my shoulders, I'm still maintaining a lot more tension on my chest. So I'm going to bring it down, control the movement, and press up, keeping my shoulders back, extending my elbows in closer to each other. Another thing you can do to play around with it, a lot of these small variances are going to be very individual specific, but you can rotate your hands out slightly as you drive up, which you saw me do in the last press. So come up, rotate out slightly, makes it a little bit easier to get a stronger contraction on your chest. Come back down. Now the other variance is you can either slightly tuck your elbows in or have your elbows straight out. Now if you have any shoulder pain or shoulder issue, I would not recommend going straight out from your shoulders, and I would recommend more of a 45-degree angle. The other thing is you want to stack all your joints. So my hand right here, my elbow, and my shoulder are all in one straight line. I don't want my arm in front or behind my elbow. That's going to be a very uncomfortable pressing position and put a lot of excess strain on my shoulder. Now the next thing is how to get the dumbbells up to your shoulders. A lot of people struggle with this. At lighter weight, it's pretty easy, but as the weight gets heavier and more challenging for you, it's going to be a little bit more methodical of how you get those dumbbells up. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. My personal preference, at least on an incline bench, because I have something to fall back into and I'm not going flat, is kick one dumbbell up with my knee, bring it to my shoulder, and then kick the other one up and come back. So I'm gonna kick one dumbbell up, kind of rest it on my shoulder, kick the other one up as I come back, go into position. Now, you don't want to hold this here for a long time. That's going to wear you out. So right when you kick it up, then you're going to want to drive up, get it up. That's when I personally like to get into position. Now, I'm going to press. Then you can either, if the weight's really heavy, Don't worry about being a dick. You can bring the weight down. If you have to drop it, you have to drop it. It's better to drop some weight than injure yourself. But what's a little bit easier? Once you come up, press, you're done with your set. Bring the dumbbells back down to your knees. From there, you can set them back down on the floor. The other way you can bring the dumbbells up, I personally never do this. I prefer it more for flat bench, not incline, but some people really like to do it this way, is bring both up at the same time. So that's gonna be right here, then press. Same thing, bring it back down to your chest, come down with it. One thing I see people do a lot that is gonna be really inefficient and make it very hard to get the dumbbells up is leaning back and then bringing the dumbbells up like this. You wanna come back and try to inch your dumbbells up your body. That's gonna be really uncomfortable. So I would try to be a little bit more explosive with it. Like I said, my personal favorite is kick the dumbbells up with your knee. Right up to your shoulder. Come back, right into the press. And now remember, bring it down. You can either come straight out and up, or slight tuck in your elbows. Keep everything in a straight line. Now, my forearms are about perpendicular to the floor. That's where you want them to be. You drive up, drive my elbows together, rotate in slightly, come back down, press. Set the dumbbells down. Like I was saying, don't be an excessive dick and just throw dumbbells down because you can, but if it's between that and injuring yourself, drop the dumbbells if you have to. That's another thing I like about dumbbells, is if you happen to get stuck, you can always just let the dumbbells fall down. Don't suggest when you're going heavy to let the dumbbells come down from here. You can put a lot of strain with the heavy weight on your shoulders, so I always come down back to my knees. I'm going to show you again from another position so you can see how my forearms are in relation to my body and perpendicular to the floor. And the other thing, bring your feet back, keep a little arch in your back, and keep your feet planted flat on the floor. It's going to give you a lot more drive than letting your legs sit out in front of you and flail around. Or you'll see some people even put them up on the bench, not usually on an incline, but on a flat bench. There's no reason to do that. It's just gonna make you weaker. So get the dumbbells up. If they're really heavy and you can't lift them on your knees, stand up with the dumbbell, set them on your legs, sit down, kick them up, and press up. Now again, this is more straight out. You can see my forearms are perpendicular to the floor, driving up. Or, my personal preference, I like to keep the dumbbells at a bit of an angle at the bottom, forearms perpendicular to the floor, drive up, now, again, you don't want to come here, you want to keep it out here. So this is not what you want to do. Keep everything tight. And if you have to drop them, drop them. Hopefully that was helpful for some of you guys that are struggling a little bit with your incline press, and let me know if there's any other informative videos that you would like to see.